This is year 17 for me as the head football coach at Avon. And behind the scenes, what people don't realize is Linda Ochs and Stephanie Kiesel have always been there. These two started when I first got the job. They were up in the press box and they would film the games for us. Stephanie Kiesel was doing tons of fundraisers for us before her own kids were even old enough to be at the high school. They did anything we needed to do to move this program forward. And I think in 17 years, our program's come a very long way. But it doesn't come that far without the division of labor. And one thing I've done as a head coach is I've had a plan and I've had a vision of where I wanted this thing to go, but I've divided up the labor so that it was possible. And a lot of that division of labor goes to those two ladies. I know that Linda Ochs at one point she went into labor as she was filming for a football game. She's one of our only members of Tough Street that's a female and obviously, not on our team. I can't say enough about the two of them and their willingness to be unselfish and do so many things for this program.
How much easier do they make your job?
It's crazy. Every year you have a team mom who steps up. They're appointed by the last year's team mom who makes that division of labor possible so that we can do all the cool things we do for our kids. We do the Eagle Advantages and we make sure that when we have guest speakers come in, we feed them. We do the senior yard signs. We do the senior banners. We have to do our team meals. All of that stuff takes coordination. That is just as big of a production as getting your team ready and prepared on a Friday night. I possibly couldn't do both, right? But if you want to have a first-class program, you want to do both. And because of them, I'm able to do that. Stephanie's the president of our booster club. It's not even just about football. She's doing so much other things for our entire athletic department. And then Linda Ochs is the treasurer right now. So their roles in this program, I can't say enough about the two of them and how much I appreciate them.
If you were to just give up to 5 stars for each one of them, what would you give?
I'd give them both 4.5 because there's always room for improvement. I'm just kidding. Those two are both 5 stars, man. That's a crazy question. They're 6 stars out of 5. That's how good they are. And they're patient with me. They know I'm busy, and they know that sometimes I'm preparing our team to try to get ready to try to win a game on a Friday night, but they need answers. They need to know, hey, how many kids is Massillon bringing so we can feed their team after the scrimmage? And it might take me 2 days to get back to them sometime, and they're patient. I'm just so grateful because to work with me throughout a season to do this for our kids is not easy, but it is all about the kids for them. And it has been before their own kids were even involved in the program. That's what makes them unique and special. They were doing all this work before they even had kids in the program. And obviously Linda has daughters. She doesn't even have a son in the program. And she's still helping out football. So we're super appreciative.
So do you think it started off as, oh, I'm going to help my husband, because he's coaching the team, and then it built into, hey, we're something big in this program?
I don't know how it started out. I know one of the first coaches when I got here that I interviewed was Kiesel. He was the defensive coordinator prior to me getting here, and I did a survey with players and said, hey, who's your favorite coach and why? And Coach Kiesel was unanimously selected. So he's the first guy I wanted to meet with. And when I talked to him, he had a young family, and he wasn't sure that he was going to stay coaching because he wanted to spend time with his kids. And thankfully, we were able to convince Eric to stay part of this program because not only has he helped this program move forward, but his wife, instead of being upset that he was gone, just said, you know what, if he's not going to be home, then let's join him where he's at. And they continue to come to games, film, and do all the stuff that they do for us.
And then you mentioned the Booster Club. She runs the 80s parties and the fundraisers and all that. Does she ever take time for herself, you think?
I don't know. You'd have to ask her that question. I know that she does a lot, and I know that I hope that Eric and Stephanie find time to get away and spend some time for themselves. I just can tell you that on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most that someone could do for our football program, she's a 10. I've got a lot of 10s in this program with coaches and people. Like I said, we divide the labor, but those are two people no one would ever think of are 10s. And Linda Ochs and Stephanie Kiesel, what they mean to our program is immeasurable.
They mean a lot to Avon Football, but I can tell you what they mean to Avon Athletics. They do a ton of stuff behind the scenes. They lead our booster group. Linda, if you ever knew how much work she does as the treasurer and how she supports every single program that we have with check requests, deposits, It's almost like a full-time job, to be honest with you. And her and Stephanie work hand in hand, and they're always lockstep in everything they do. And I know our department, Mrs. Rickovic and I, could never do what we do without them. And we're so grateful for all that they do. They're truly amazing people that have been great servant leaders for our program.
Well, I think of Elmer's glue, because they are the glue that holds everything together. I think of the 80s party, I think of the filming of games, I think of this right here, everything that goes on, they quietly have their hands involved in it. So that's what I think of when I think of them. They got it all taken care of.
When I think of Linda and Stephanie, I think of just unconditional love and dedication to Avon football and to athletic boosters in general. And I just think they're two kind, loving people, and I think that a lot of athletics in our school really couldn't do anything that we do really without them. So we would be in big trouble without either one of them. And they're two wonderful ladies and kind ladies, and we're really grateful for everything that they do.
What they do is incredible. Between time, money, and I guess availability, I guess is the big three things. Like, they're involved in all aspects of it, and it's amazing how much work gets done by those moms that do these things, with not always like just everybody on different schedules. Like, in the end, they're kind of like elder, because I know from just being around this year, like, people criticize their decisions about, you know, what we're doing for dumb things like barbecue sauce or not putting things on social media. Like, they have to make decisions for this whole group. And I know that they're trying not to involve Mike in it as much, because he's got a lot on his plate. So they're just trying to do things to keep things off his plate. And like, there's so much to be done for that role that they take care of, that it's amazing.
How about being coaches' wives, and then they film, and then they're in the boosters, and then they organize everything. And these ladies are the Jacks and the Jills of all trades, aren't they?
Yeah, I mean, they have come up through, you know, as long as, I mean, and I don't know necessarily what date they all started in the booster club, but man, over the last, it's got to be 8 years minimum, just all the things that they're involved in. You know, it's amazing that somebody can be involved in so much stuff.
They are two of the many women and mothers and family members that help our program go, and things they do behind the scene, and even on game day, it's monumental to the success of our program, and to allow us to do what we do on Friday nights, to make adjustments and changes to the kids. And without their help on Fridays and all throughout the week, we couldn't do what we do.
And then how about some of the adversity that they've pushed through? Like, Linda's part of Tough Street because of something she did.
She is the only woman that is in Tough Street, and that goes back to 2011, and we're playing. It was in the state semifinal games against Aurora, and even going back to Tiffin Columbian. Started out in Fremont, then it carried over to Byers Field, where she was 9 months pregnant and going into labor, having contractions while the game was going on, and she's saying to herself, I am filming, this baby's not coming. I am filming, this baby's not coming. I am filming, this baby's not coming. So she was in labor while we were playing a football game.
And the baby waited till the game was over?
Baby waited until the game was over. Baby waited for a couple more days yet, and baby was born the week of the state championship game, I believe.
Just things like that. What does that say about, like, how much they dedicate and give to Avon football?
They're part of the team, part of the program, and they know that they're part of the program. They've been doing this for many, many years. Linda started filming, gosh, I want to say her first year was 2009 that she started filming for us. So her and Stephanie have been doing that together ever since 2009, and I know if one can't make it, the other one covers for the other, and they are a tag team effort up there and allowing us to have success on Fridays because of what they give us to coach off of, and now with where football's at, what we can show them on the sidelines during the game.
Along with filming, they run the booster club too. You know, they handle everything, the money, the planning, all that. So there's a lot more that they do. The
amount of work that goes into the booster club, especially the treasurer side, where Linda is the treasurer, Stephanie's the president, nobody would truly understand it unless you live it in real time. And I see it in real time, and I see the amount of work that goes into going to the schools, getting the money, getting the deposits, getting everything reconciled, getting it out to the CPA to be checked for. It's a checks and balances now. Everything's looked at by a CPA to get the file back and to see the amount of work Linda does. It's unbelievable, and it's really admirable because nobody in their right mind would ever think that what goes into this unless you truly see it, and nobody in their right mind would probably ever take this. Seeing, if you could see what happens, people would say, "No thanks, I don't want it."
Stephanie does a lot of the back stuff that. There's emails that she's sending out all the time. She's organizing all the team dinners. I think she still organizes the team shop too.
She helps out with that, yeah.
And she does stuff. She films, and I'm not sure what she does up in the press
She knows
box.
how to do the drone thing now.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, she knows how to drive a drone. That's pretty cool. I personally think Stephanie and Linda, totally phenomenal. I mean, they're coaches' wives, so they have to put up with that whole schedule.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, everything that they do for the kids, totally Avon.
Well, they're not allowed to leave. Just because her son's graduating, Stephanie's not allowed to not be a part of this next year. She still has to run all.
Well, she's still got Kenzie.
I need her
so,
to be here.
Yeah.
Until it's my rule at least, because until Killian graduates, I need her because she knows everything she's doing, and I text her all the time with all my little questions. So I gotta have her.
Yeah.
She can't go anywhere.
Are you gonna be the team mom?
No. No, I'm not that dedicated. These other moms are amazing. I appreciate them so much. I may keep this one on hand too because she's been around as long as I have, longer. But no, I mean, this program is amazing, and it's a lot of the moms that do a lot of this back stuff. I mean, the coaches obviously do amazing things too, and they get a lot of affirmation for that, but these moms do an amazing amount. They
But don't you
organize
see
this.
that from the kids when the kids come through the line?
Yeah, they're
they
so appreciative.
get it. They're very
Yeah.
appreciative.
Yeah.
Great kids, great kids.
Yeah.
So Elder always says, great kids from great families.
Well,
and I think that's part of the secret sauce, whole thing. So,
Yeah.
I like that, the secret sauce.
It's a secret sauce.
Secret
And
sauce.
Stephanie and Linda are both a big part of that secret sauce.
Yeah.
Dedication, hands down. She's super organized. She handles all of the meals. She handles all the communications. Honestly, if it wasn't for her, we would not even know half the stuff that's going on a weekly basis.
All the party planning. She's always so cool, calm, and collected with everything.
She is, yeah, and she's always upbeat too. She's always smiling. She does a lot for the football, and she always has. It doesn't make, just because she's senior mom this time, doesn't mean that she didn't do things before. I mean, it's been what, 20 years, 13 years, something like that. She's been a long time, so she's been doing it for a long time. We appreciate her. If it wasn't for her, honestly, things would be different, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think she makes it special for the boys, the coaches, and the families.
About that, she's got her husband is on in the staff. Now her son's playing. Does that just throw even more hats in the ring for her?
Yeah, I mean, how she has to tackle all these different things. She has to tackle all of those things on top of being on the Boosters Club, on top of being senior mom. I mean, that takes a lot of dedication and a lot of personal time. Plus, she has a job, like a job outside of all this. So she's juggling. She's the master juggler.
Maybe she doesn't sleep.
She probably doesn't sleep.
I want to know her trick then.
Yeah, me too.
Can she share?
My moms are awesome. They're so awesome. They show up when they're supposed to show up. They bring what they say they're going to bring, and service with a smile.